Causes of marital infidelity: gray hair in the head, demon in the rib, or the need for new experiences. In a strong, stable family, there is no need to look for adventures on the side. Spouses take care of each other, try to treat personal space tenderly and touchingly, jointly resolve current issues, and provide assistance in difficult situations. For them, doping in the form of extramarital relations is an alien phenomenon, since they have love, affection, sex, and mutual understanding within the family with their trusted partner. At the same time, there are married couples where adultery sometimes occurs, which significantly harms family relations and undermines the trust of loved ones. Statistics of infidelity in Russia show that our country ranks among the first in terms of the number of divorces that occur due to the infidelity of one of the spouses. Men are polygamous, therefore, along with their wives, they sometimes prefer to have a permanent mistress, replacing her over time with another one. Married women may want to be in a relationship with a married man for a long time. Let's take a look at the causes of marital infidelity. According to TM's Aslavskaya and V.A. Grishin, there are 7 motives for entering into extramarital affairs. Let's list them. A new love. At some point, a new object of love appears. One of the spouses falls in love. This is the case in marriages in which there is little or no love. Retribution is an opportunity to avenge marital infidelity. Women are more likely to give feedback when they find out about their spouse's infidelity and decide to cheat back because of resentment. Outraged love. It occurs in couples where there is no reciprocity, but there is an unrequited feeling. This is a search for love on the side, when the cheater may not even sympathize with the new partner, but simply respond to his feelings. Searching for a new love experience. It is typical for couples with a significant family experience who may commit infidelity in order to escape from the daily routine of living together. Spouses who want to get the most out of life can also change. Replenishment. With the help of marital infidelity, couples want to make up for the lack of a loving relationship due to the long-term illness of one of the spouses, prolonged absence, and other restrictions. Total disintegration of the family, where infidelity is the actual result of the creation of a new family. Casual connection. Such infidelity is not characterized by regularity and experience. Often such infidelities are one-time intoxication, persistence of the partner, etc. For example, when inflamed by alcohol, some partners withdraw from their obligations and are ready to cheat one. The above reasons for infidelity are supplemented by the following: lack of self-confidence. In this situation, the man seeks to prove to himself and others that he is wealthy, thereby by the fact of infidelity, he wants to assert himself in his own eyes. A woman who is deprived of attention from her spouse wants to increase her self-esteem with the help of an external connection. Sexual dissatisfaction, where one or both spouses are not satisfied with the quality of sex, the duration of sexual intercourse, the frequency of sexual contacts, the lack of variety, there is a fading of passion. The crisis of the age, when an adult man seeks adventures with young women to prove to himself that he is still in demand as a sexual object and is experiencing a second youth. Sometimes men engage in extramarital affairs out of curiosity or during quarrels with their wives. The temporary departure of one of the spouses may also be a search for a temporary replacement spouse. There are many anecdotes on this topic. For example, the husband suddenly returns from a business trip, and the wife has prepared a surprise in the form of a lover in the closet. The causes of male infidelity can be pregnancy and childbirth, as well as changes in the weight and figure of the wife. At the same time, men are interested in good sex and do not want to develop themselves as a caring lover. In other words, a man's sexual need is not related to the emotional and spiritual sides of communication, short-term, non-binding connections with colleagues, wives of friends, acquaintances, etc. Women, in addition to sexual contacts, strive for the psychological side of the relationship, expecting from a sexual partner pleasant emotions, beautiful courtship, affectionate words, attention, which is lacking in an existing marriage. Most spouses who decide on the fact of infidelity find lovers at work or on vacation. Sometimes they get acquainted with the objects of infidelity in close proximity to themselves, for example, with neighbors. Next, let's take a closer look at the proverb, gray hair in the beard, devil in the rib. This phrase has a broader meaning, not just a connection with infidelity. By reaching a midlife crisis, men and women can dramatically change their attitudes towards life, leading to amazing metamorphoses. So, for example, an adult woman, having lived a calm, measured life, begins to engage in extreme sports. A man of crisis age, having reached the heights in his professional career, suddenly drops everything and goes to the village to grow eco-products. Hence, we can assume that the midlife crisis is an opportunity for a person to rediscover himself and discover new perspectives, to realize the potential inherent in nature, to reassess the past and look into the future. At the same time, the above expression can mean a change in the usual behavior in marriage by a person of crisis age, more often a man. Some spouses perceive a new relationship outside of marriage as an antidepressant, a kind of compensation for exemplary behavior in marriage or a rejection of feelings of dependence on their partner. Others cheat in order to grow in their own eyes, or they awaken their hunter instinct, without thinking about the trauma they inflict on the family. The bright colors of sensations, the excitement of the search for a sexual object, the mystery of meetings explode the hormonal background of the cheater, who plunges into incredible adventures. After a year of relationship, a habit is formed, the novelty and sharpness of relationships on the side disappear. Everything becomes habitual, ordinary, boring, and the man begins to understand that close relationships become similar to family relationships, with certain obligations, everyday life, and traditions. In this situation, the spouse often returns to the family, which becomes more important to him. Consequently, a midlife crisis may be accompanied by infidelity, but it is not a way of life. It is important that spouses who have a long family experience understand and support each other, are able to bring joy and negotiate in a positive way, realize that couple life requires renewal of feelings and stimulation, openness and novelty, and that the age crisis will bring renewal to joint life and strengthen family ties. To understand the age crisis that occurs in a man, imagine the image of a graceful racehorse. In its youth, it is an excitable and curious horse with a springy body, vigorous movements, strong teeth, which proudly holds its neck above the level of the withers. Over the years, the horse ages, becomes calm, measured and cautious appear in its movements. In most cases, it keeps its head below the withers. An aged horse, thanks to its experience, is still good for something and can perform certain jobs. But youth and health can no longer be restored, so many things are no longer available to him. In the same way, a man with gray hair in his head, taking a step towards infidelity, wants to prove that he can do a lot, often takes not by quality, but by quantity, tries to attract the attention of a younger chosen one, overestimating his own capabilities. Is infidelity a justified act, a need for new experiences? Or is it a betrayal on the part of a loved one? Let's find out. There are families where infidelity is seen as a betrayal. In this case, by taking this step, the spouse is aware of the consequences and damage that they cause to the family. Nevertheless, in search of thrills, novelty, justifying themselves in their own eyes, proving some rightness or revenge for the offenses caused, a person steps over the beloved, going towards an adventure, new relationships, vivid impressions, to high a price for fun. It's like a step into the abyss for an adrenaline junkie when there is an opportunity to be in weightlessness, feel a palette of different feelings, and not think about the consequences. Such treason can be compared to scales, where on one side lies treason to the family, on the other, treason to the motherland, while both scales are equal in weight. In such families, the only way out of the situation is divorce. In other families, couples believe that everyone has the right to make a mistake, and having stumbled foolishly once, the amateur does not always go for a second betrayal, but will try to make amends, become an exemplary family man, change himself, and change his attitude to the family. Of course, a man feels guilty for what he has done, but if the wife is wise, does not mentally or over a cup of tea return to the fact of infidelity, then over time the wound will heal, the crust will fall off, and almost nothing will remain at the site of the injury. A married couple will analyze mistakes, draw conclusions, and enter a new stage of development. Imagine a butterfly flying towards a lit candle. You can fly around the beautiful glow. Feel your irresistibility, courage, uniqueness, because not every butterfly will dare to be near the fire. But there is always a possibility of missing something, some imperceptible nuance. For example, keeping a distance when approaching a fire, and then the consequences can be deplorable, charred wings, or the death of a butterfly in a fire. So it is in life. Momentary sex on the side, short secret meetings, a sense of drive justify the spouse in their own eyes, rarely cause pangs of conscience. At the same time, repeated, long-term relationships on the side, as a rule, are accompanied by doubts, gossip, choices, which deal a blow to family relations. There are marriages in which, by mutual agreement, both spouses release each other from obligations by establishing relations on the side. The very fact of infidelity is not considered as treason. Each of them lives his own personal life. Such relationships do not contribute to the strengthening of the family. On the contrary, there are doubts about marital love, family values, and the desire to raise children in the future. Summarizing the above, we note that in general, infidelity is a test for the family, which brings pain to both spouses. Let's take a look at a case from practice. Sergi, not his real name, 55 years old, married for 35 years, has 2 adult children. He met a married woman at work, 18 years younger than him, and had an office romance that lasted for a year. The man turned to a psychologist for help to find a way out of the situation in order to break off the relationship, as his mistress began to insist on a divorce, which was not part of his plans. We will not dwell on the description of the work done. We will only note that as a result of the meeting, the man composed a final story in which he used arguments and described the breakup of relations on the side. To the psychologist's question, "Why did you decide to break off the relationship and stay in the family?" The man answered, "I love my wife. I was not going to leave the family. Now I'm going to fix it." The man did not care about the fate and reputation of his former mistress. He was only worried about whether his wife would forgive him for cheating. Hence, an office romance on the side made the man feel irresistible for a while, but he did not want to change anything in his life. Everything suited him: secret meetings, love excitement, and a caring wife who provided a reliable rear. This lasted until the man was faced with a choice which negatively affected the new relationship. So, having considered adultery, we note the following. Almost every woman wants to be loved, to have a strong rear, a caring, loving husband, to raise children together, to enjoy life. If a woman is busy with her career, herself, or she has not been able to create her nest in time, there is no need to despair. Look around you. Perhaps your destiny is right next to you, just waiting for the right opportunity to get to know each other. Value yourself. You are worthy of the man for whom you will become the beloved and the only one. Consumer goods are always available and within walking distance, but you need the only one with which it is reliable through fire, water, and copper pipes. For spouses who have been married for many years, any reason for marital infidelity is a tragedy. Take care of and respect each other, protect each other from shocks. Let your love become richer and nobler over the years, like old wine. Thus, a midlife crisis or a need for new experiences is not a valid reason for infidelity. New impressions can be obtained in various ways, and it is possible to realize oneself during a crisis through extreme or interesting activities, acquire interesting skills, and change one's attitude to reality without harming others. Live in the moment. Appreciate what you have, realize the prospects in a positive way, and let happiness be in every home.